Hello, can you hear me? Hi, everyone. Let me know when you can hear me okay. All right, so it looks like it's playing. Hey, everyone. Hello, you guys hearing me okay? I'm running on a different setup here, so there we go. Okay, great. All right, awesome. I was worried that you wouldn't be able to hear me, so I'm actually just in a bedroom here in the house because I was going to do this outside tonight, and it was hot out and the sun was starting to go down. I didn't want to put up a light, so I just threw the laptop in a spare room here, and hopefully it works out. I got a little window light coming in, which is going to go dim, but I have a couple lights in here, so hopefully you guys will be able to see me. No, this is still the same house. So how's everybody doing? Hey, Geneva. Hi, Erica. Hey, Ed. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Shayla. Awesome. Good to have you guys here. Hey, Melissa Bolton. How many do we have in here tonight? It's only 18 of you here, so that's not many at all. So I see some here from YouTube membership, some here from Patreon. Awesome. So this is a Q&A. I'm reading your comments as they come in. This is a Q&A basically, so you can ask me anything about what I do, equipment, ghosts, and if I have an answer, I will gladly answer you. If I don't have an answer, that means I have no idea and I can't. But you can ask me anything. So hey, Judy. Hot and humid here in Alabama. I bet it is. Yeah, that's the thing about Phoenix. We have the heat. So I think it was supposed to be like 111 today, but we don't have the humidity. So it just feels like an oven kind of heat. Oh, here's a question. Shiraz? I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Are you able to feel energy while walking around outside or while shopping? You know what? If I focus on trying to sense spirit, it can happen. It has happened. It's happened multiple times in a movie theater. And I used to try to get EVPs in a movie theater if I got there early enough to where nobody was in there. And I have captured EVPs in the theater, but yeah, you can definitely feel it. But I can also, and anyone can, I believe, if we're all the same, and we should be, I can also turn it off to where if it has gotten to the point where I physically just imagine a switch flicking off right here on the side of my head, and I don't think about it. And then when I am in off mode, so to speak, I can't do good sessions with a lot of messages. Like it just doesn't work out. So the focus has to be there, whether you're using a device or whether you're just sensing spirit around. But yeah, it's amazing actually when you feel it's sometimes I feel like as I walk right through a spirit, it's almost like you're going through a wall. Other times it's like on your side or you'll feel it somewhere. That's pretty cool. Thank you for that question. All right, I don't want to miss questions. So if you see me gazing off this way, it's because I'm looking at your chat, which is over there on my side, on my left. Let's see. My question is about reincarnation from Noella. Just feel free to ask the question. But if you're going to ask what happens to our soul if, oh no, that I'm thinking of something else. Reincarnation. Okay. So there's been no solid answer on reincarnation during sessions. If I ask about reincarnation, it's almost as if the spirits that are there do not know the answer to the question. But do I believe in reincarnation? Absolutely. I believe, but I don't think it's instant. Like the moment we die, we're reborn or something like that. I think it's a process, and it could be a timely process. But as far as having a solid answer from the spirits, I do not on that. Geneva, what was your first validated communication experience like? I'd love to hear about it. Oh, geez. That's one I have to think about, because I had experiences as a child that didn't really get validated until I was an adult, because back when I was a child, I thought I was either crazy or, I thought it was either crazy or something spiritual going on. But everybody around me made me feel I was crazy for that experience as a kid. So I kind of blocked it out of my mind until I started doing this. And that's when I realized, holy cow, there was something to that. But as far as like doing sessions, it was validated to me. I bought a Frank's box many, many years ago. It was one of the first spirit boxes I owned. I think I had a PSB-7, and I bought a Frank's box for like $250 from a parking lot at an electronics store. And as soon as I brought it home and turned it on, it said my name. And then I asked, who is this? And it said Paul. And that was instant validation as far as doing a session. And that was very early on. The first session I ever did with, it might have been a PSB-7, if I remember correctly, said my name and even my last name. And that was instant validation for me. And ever since then, I've been fascinated with it, and still am. All these years later, I'm still fascinated with this. It doesn't get old. How is your beautiful wife, Debbie? She's awesome. She's in another room. I think she's watching this, though, so she's probably watching this on her phone or possibly on our Apple TV. Hey, Clemen. Dry heat beats the heck out of wet heat. Yeah, you know what? I agree. Like Josh from Hope Paranormal, I don't know if he's in here tonight, but he lives in Florida, and it is humid in Florida. Aberdeen, Maryland, 102 yesterday. That's crazy. Hey, Verna. Oh, I'm having that problem again with the chat. It just like jumps up and I miss these questions. Okay, let me get back on track here. Okay. Have you mentioned that we are what makes spirit communication possible? Is there anything you do to prepare? Oh, you have mentioned that we are what makes spirit communication possible. Is there anything you do to prepare before you go into a session? That's another great question. Yeah, I basically, if I'm going to do a session or record for a video for a specific purpose, whether it's to test something like this Panabox or to get EVPs with the recorder, no matter what I do, if it's going to be communication related, I really chill out the hour or two before I plan to do the session, because I don't like going into a session all hyper or with racing thoughts, from the day or whatever's going on in my life at the time. So I like to chill. I'll sit in a chair and for about 15 minutes, I'll do a meditation and a visualization. And then I make sure everything is set up, and I sit in my chair to record, and I do another 10-minute focus, and then I start recording. And that's basically it. And then at the end, I say a prayer. I thank God for all I've been blessed with. And that's it till the next time. So yeah, there is sort of some preparation there because, I have said we are the #1 spirit box in the world, right? It's us. We are all wired to be able to communicate. And I was thinking today, I was making that masterclass video about how to meet your spirit guides and learn their name. And I was talking about how we own, I think I've read this somewhere. I don't know if it's a fact, but I strongly believe it, that we only use a certain portion of our brain. And what if there's another portion of the brain that we can learn how to tap into, right? But when we're born, we're not tapped into it, but we can learn how to tap into it. Now, if that's the case, which it might be, those of us who can communicate and connect with spirits, some stronger than others, maybe we're tapping into something in the brain that allows us to connect, because believe me, there's many times that I don't even understand how this all works. I mean, I have an idea from what they've told me and shown me, but I don't know if we're meant to like comprehend it or what, but you guys here, me, those who watch my videos that are not here, we're such a small little group, right, in the world. We're such a niche, right? So most of the world still doesn't believe in ghosts. I think it's growing. There are more people now that believe in spirits and ghosts, but there's still, I think, a majority who doesn't believe. But anyway, if you guys are not new to my live streams, you'll know I'll go off on little tangents here. And I don't even remember what the original question was. Oh yeah, that we are what makes spirit communication possible. But that's exactly true. If we don't establish that connection, and we all have the ability to do it, I'm certain of it, then the communication we get may be sporadic or very little. But once you develop that connection, which comes from love, empathy, care, trust, and time, I believe, then I think that's when the communication just kind of explodes, right? So I think we can all build that connection through various ways that I have spoken about. All right, I'm still reading the chat now. Hey Josh, good to see you in here. All right, so here's a question from Geneva. I hate the silence, but I'm having to read the questions. I have a friend who makes devices that regulates the vibrations around you. You can change the energy levels. I find it amazing for maintaining good levels. Have you ever used something similar? I have not. I've never heard of such a thing, actually. I'd have to read about it or see what it is. But yeah, no, that sounds interesting, though. Sounds very interesting. Black Wolf, trying to open up to be more psychic. What's the #1 thing I should be doing? Well, I don't consider myself psychic, not at all. I actually don't believe in psychics. And what I mean by that is those who say they can tell the future. That definition of a psychic. I believe in mediums, and mediums basically can connect with the dead through themselves, because real mediums have learned how to use their body, their brain, their energy as a conduit for spirit. Now, I guess for some people, it may have come natural. I'm not sure. Some may have stumbled into it, but the #1 thing for spirit communication, being a medium even, would be all of the things I've talked about. First of all, you have to believe 100% with your mind, body, and soul that it's real, it's possible, and it's a thing. There's a lot of people who go into this and they still doubt it, right? And when you fully believe and you're fully open, I believe full belief means you're fully open. I mean, you have no doubts, right? So that's #1. #2, you have to learn how to hone in on the energies around you. You have to do the visualization stuff. I found that really helps. I know Josh believes in that as well. But I don't know what tier you're in, but I have the gold tier at Patreon with the masterclass videos, and that's what that's all about. But it's going to be over 12 videos. I think I just posted #5 today, but just just believe, accept the energy, go about communication with kindness, love, empathy, respect. Love is the key, as I always say. And I believe that 1,000,000%. And it's not just love is the key. I mean, it goes deep. Love is the key here. Love is the key there. That's what it's all about. All right. Oh, no, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I have allergies pretty bad. And once I start sneezing, it's like I go on for like 12, 15, 20 sneezes. It's crazy. So if I start sneezing, I'm going to walk off the camera and you'll probably hear me sneezing. Maybe I won't. And so if I do, I'm going to be off camera doing it. And then I'll come back when I am not sneezing anymore. Can anyone communicate with their loved ones? Clement Cast. I believe you're asking, can anyone connect with their own loved one? Like, can you connect with your loved one? If you ask me, I believe yes. I believe you, or when I say you, I mean anyone watching, if you have a similar question, you would have an easier time connecting with your loved one than I would. I feel a reason that the group nights work, and they do work. Look at this, guys. All right, I was supposed to get these out Friday, but these are going out Monday. These are all the validations from the last group session, and you guys are getting a Love is the Key. A Love is the key card necklace. So it is possible. And I think the group sessions work because as a collective, you guys focus on your loved ones during that visualization. I focus doing what I have to do. And I don't know why some come through and some don't. I just know some do. And I credit that to all of our energy, right? All of our energy as a collective being used. So what was the question again? See how bad I am? I start talking about the keys and I lost focus. But yeah, can anyone contact their loved ones? So if you're doing spirit communication, whether you're new or experienced, it's possible, but it's very hard. Like my father, for example, his name comes through all the time, but it's his name. He's not coming through telling me, giving me messages, personal messages. It's his name. And early on when I would ask, like, why is his name coming through? They said, he's beside you. But for some reason, he doesn't or can't talk, it seems. Or for me, he doesn't. It's really strange. So it's not as easy as turning on a device and asking for a loved one. It's one of those areas where I really don't know how that works. But it does work. It can. It's not very easy to do. So I think we all have the ability for deep spirit communication. It's a matter of your passion level for it. Like my passion for this work is like through the roof, right? It's busting through the top of my head. And that's still after all these years of doing it. And I think that passion and drive also helps because that's energy, right? That passion and excitement and drive is releasing energy. The spirits can use that energy. I have all these crazy theories, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on before I keep just going on and on and on. What was your scariest experience as a child? By Shayla McClellan. Thank you, Shayla. Shayla's a YouTube member. What was your scariest experience as a child? Now, I kind of hinted at it earlier when I said my earliest experience, right, with spirits. It was when I was a kid. And I've told this story before, so I'll tell the short version in case some of you here already heard it. But I was young. I don't remember how old. I was either 7, 8, or 9. I'll just say that. I was with my family, my mother, father, sister, staying in a motel while we were traveling to go visit my grandmother. We stayed in this hotel, and off of the I remember there was like a balcony like many hotels have today, but we were like on the second floor of this motel. you open up, there was like a back door to a patio where you can look out into a parking lot, or there were stores or something. So I remember that because there were police in the area busting it looked like a drunk driver earlier in the night anyway. So it was one of those motel rooms where it had a door in the middle of the room that connects to the room next to it. Okay. So you could rent both rooms and have like a suite. Anyway, long story short, all the doors were locked. I was always afraid and always made sure my parents locked the doors. So we went around and checked the doors, go to bed, and there were 2 beds. And instead of sleeping with my sister in bed 2, my mom slept with my sister. I was with my dad. And I remember I couldn't sleep because I was always like a night owl kid. I always stayed up all night, slept all day whenever I could. So I was laying there, everybody's sleeping, my dad's snoring. And I hear the door handle of the room start moving, the one that connects to the other room, right? And I was on the edge of the bed right next to this door, right? My bed here, door here. And I see the doorknob moving. And I became, where I was so afraid, I froze, right? Where I couldn't speak kind of thing. I wasn't sleeping. It was very much real. I was in the motel room. So all of a sudden, the door, which was locked that we checked earlier, opens. I see a face stick in, and he looks at me like with this evil, sly face. And I was just frozen, and he held his fist up. And I laughed because my mom joked with me about this my whole life. And he said, "Do you want this?" And I just started screaming. And he just had this evil look on his face. The door closed quietly. I'm jumping on my father, "Wake up." And he was a real heavy sleeper. My sister and mom wake up, and my dad's waking up. So I explained what happened, that this man was breaking into the room. My dad gets up. The door that the guy came through was not only locked, it was bolted locked. It couldn't have been opened from the other side. So at the time, I didn't know. So they didn't believe me. They thought I was dreaming it, of course. But it wasn't a dream. And I've remembered it my entire life. I could still see the face. I strongly believe that that was some kind of spiritual, evil spirit. I don't know. But since I feel this kind of connection has been with me for a long, long, long time, I used to use Ouija boards at age 9. And I've always had a fascination with this. But that was I firmly believe that was some kind of spiritual experience, a ghost or whatever. And I feel that is my scariest first experience as a child. So that was longer than I was hoping it would be, but that's okay. All right, let's see. I'm going to miss. All right, so I'm right on track. Oh, man, I don't want to miss questions. I saw somebody say, let's see, L3 Paranormal, we were all beginners. It only gets better. That's true. The more you do this, the better it gets. The more you take it seriously, the better it gets. It's pretty amazing, because I believe the more you do and the more you hear and feel, and once you start feeling and even seeing, and as I said, that belief just pops into overdrive and you have no doubt, I think that's when you're fully open. And when we're fully open, I believe that's when we get amazing spirit results like that. Josh, I'm here in Florida, and boy, is it dry in Arizona. Too dry for me. Yeah, it's super dry here, man. When you first move here, your first 2-3 weeks, you have chapped lips, and you got to constantly put like chapstick on. It's crazy dry here. It's awful for your skin. Awful. Humidity in Chicago is rough. Yeah, I used to live there. It was super humid in the summer. Hey, do you guys see those paintings in the back? That's Olive and Baby. Can I get my fingers to move? There we go. Olive and Baby, painted by someone in ITC in 2015 for us, Lisa Marie Hughes. She painted those for us, and I put some gold frames on them, and they're in this bedroom. But She did an awesome job. Every time I see him, I smile. What is one of your favorite validations from spirit that has always stayed with you? I'll make this one super quick. Early on, maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I don't remember, maybe 7 years ago. I don't remember the exact year, but I did, I was asking for my dad, and the message after I was asking for him, I don't remember the exact exchange, but then he said, I think, or I asked him, I said, I love you and miss you. And he said, I think, I love you. And that was such an amazing validation for me at the time. The only one I've gotten that is supposedly from my father. So, what was your most bizarre communication connection session? Oh man, like I know there's some I'm not thinking of, but let me think here. Most bizarre. I doubt this is it, but one thing that pops into my head is a couple years ago, every time I went to do a session, they would talk of the door. And then before you know it, you'd hear the door opening, you'd hear the door closing, you hear the door latching. On command, I'd be like, can you come through the door? And you'd hear the door creep open. Those were kind of bizarre, but I know there's way more bizarre than that. I just can't think of it at this moment off the top of my head. Clement, I need to be more patient. I get frustrated because it was a recent passing. Yeah, that's the thing. I also found, and I think Josh can attest to this as well, if you get frustrated during sessions or even during, before, after any of it, the session's not going to go well. It just doesn't. It's really an interesting thing. So yeah, when you go into a session, try to remain everything positive, calm, envision the white light, the love around you, and focus on your loved one. Steve, do you keep to any specific diet, or do you think we can meditate to a deeper state, being organic as possible? What's your thought on diet and abilities? From Greenie Houdini. Hey, I used to love Houdini. I still love Houdini, by the way. I don't keep any specific diet. As a matter of fact, I was just telling Debbie that I'm going to need to start getting in shape. And what I mean by that is I'm not overweight, but when I start to eat more junk food, it goes right to my gut. And that's like the only place I gain weight. But no, I don't keep to any specific diet at this point. I used to. I used to be on a crazy clean diet, and it was a pain, but it was worth it. I think there's something to that, possibly, I don't know, where if you are on a clean diet, you're eating clean, that'll help you mentally, I think, because there's so much garbage that they put out there as food these days. I mean, most food that we as Americans eat anyway, fast food is crazy, right? And it's also bad for you. And I remember when I did eat super clean and I was in amazing shape, I was much sharper mentally, I think, as well, quicker, right? So I think if that's the case, then that could possibly help with spirit communication as well, because the cleaner your mind is, the cleaner your energy, right? So there's something to that. Pamela Messman, I want to build a box. How do I get information on this, please? There's two ways. I have had on my website for years now how to make the original basic portal, the bare bones portal. It's not cheap to make, even the bare bones. It's something like $600. And I also have instructions on how to make a mini portal, which should cost you around $200, which is what I would recommend anyone start with at the most for portal. You can either go to my website and use the search function, how to make a portal, or you can go to Google and type in how to make a portal Huff. Make sure you put my name. And I believe the first 2 links that come back will be how to make a portal and how to make a mini portal. So that's how you can find that out. And they're very easy to make, those basic portals. So I'm like way behind here. I think I'm on some older comments here. Our brain is so powerful. Yes, it is. Would high frequency sound, okay, so Verna, there are videos focusing on higher frequency sounds. Can that be helpful for pet relaxation? I can't put them out there with me when I try to meditate. Would high frequency sound, I think high frequency sound might do the opposite on a pet. I know dogs have superhuman hearing, and if it's a super high frequency, they heard it, it might freak them out. I'm not sure about that. So yeah, I really don't know the answer to that question. All right. Pamela Messman, you have to have good intentions. Exactly. Geneva, I found that guided meditations help me. Have you thought of doing a series of them? I've had some people ask. I did one, I posted that one today for the gold in the masterclass. Hopefully some of you have success with that, but I thought about it. If you guys want to give me ideas on topics that you would like for those, let me know. Steve, do you sift through all the YouTube comments on doing a celebrity session? Melissa Bolton. No, I do not. It's not possible. It's not possible. I often tell people if I answered every comment on YouTube, every message that came in through email or YouTube, my normal emails every day, Patreon messages, comments on Facebook or groups, then that's all I would be doing full time. I wouldn't have time to make videos. I wouldn't have time to meet people or try new devices. So I do not get to read all of those comments. On the celebrity sessions, there's so many comments most of the time, and they border between 2 kinds: people who loved it and people who can't stand that I did a celebrity session for whatever reasons they have, which are valid to them. I understand. I don't complain about anyone complaining about my celebrity videos. I talked about it before. I kind of look at it as some people don't understand the realities of death. They see if you do a session on a celebrity shortly after they die, more people than not see it as disrespect, where I see it as giving them full respect. I've said this before too, like when I go, I'd be pretty mad if you guys were like, no, don't turn on your boxes because it's not respectful. I'd be yelling, no, now you're disrespecting me. So I see it in a whole different light. If a spirit is there in that first 72 hours and they're desperately trying to get a message out, wouldn't it be disrespectful to not allow them to speak? Now, some out there see it as amazing and respectful as I do. Some see it as disrespectful, and some think it's done as a fake to get attention or views, and that's absolutely just ridiculous. I only do celebrity sessions when I feel either pushed to do them or I feel some sort of connection to the celebrity, whether I was a fan or what have you. But I feel that those videos are giving the most respect, like the Lorraine Warren one especially. She was a paranormal researcher, so why wouldn't you try to reach her when she has the most chance of success to come through? You know, I saw that as a good thing. But anyway, I can't get to all the comments on those sessions. It's just not possible. It takes it takes hours sometimes just going through comments and answering them on a normal video. Ed Lawrence, water, no coffee. I just had a coffee before I went live, so I didn't want to have two and get all jittery. All right. Thank you, Ed. Black Wolf, I was born communicating with spirits, and for some reason I shut it down as a child, trying to open back up again. How did you shut it down? Trying to open back up. Oh, you're trying to open back up now. Okay, I was confused. I see. It'll come. It'll come. Especially if you recognized it as a child, it's always there. I don't think it ever leaves. Like, we always have that ability. Like, there's times I'll go and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to go do a session, and I'll set up, I'll do my thing, I'll record the session, and it's just not a good session, right? It's like, I'll get stuff here and there, and I'm like, well, nothing significant is happening. There's no one looking for light. There's, nothing. So I don't post it, or sometimes I'll just share random clips with you guys. And then I'll sit there and think, ooh, is my connection gone? What happened? And then next session, it's back strong again. So I don't think it ever leaves. That's my point, basically. I'm trying to get a hold of my mom. What's the best app that could help me? From Noella. You are the best app that can help you. And I mean that 100%. I've talked about it. I talked about it earlier. We are the best spirit box there is. You have to be able to connect with spirits before any app will work well for any reason. And if you're someone who's like, well, I'm getting results from an app, and I don't feel I'm making any special connection. If you do make that special connection, it will get even better. So first, make sure you are taking it seriously, have the right intentions, which I'm sure you do. Have love in your heart for this, as I'm sure you do. And then you can use any app, any PSB7 radio. There's $70 on Amazon. But apps, I like, most people use Android or iOS. iOS, I love Keith Weldon's apps, Spiritus, Necrophonic sometimes. And he has a new one called Deadwave, I believe, which I have. And I've been messing with it a little bit here and there. It's got a cool visual feature. Those are on Android and iOS. On Android, I've used Dead Time with success through a portal, but not so much without the portal. So yeah, I mean, there's good apps, there's bad apps, and there's fake apps where they're meant for entertainment. But you will be the best spirit box, Noella, 100%. That's why there's some people who use devices and they can't get anything, and they think the device is fake, when they're not realizing in order for the device to work, we have to work. We kind of connect with it. Where are we at here? 740. 740 here in Arizona is what I meant. I got the SCD2 app and have an EVP recorded. I say, hi, this is Shayla. Who am I speaking to? It says, it says what? Oh, it says, hi, Shayla, in a whisper. Awesome. Thank you, Geneva. Hey, Stephanie Lynn. Good to see you here. Hey, guys. So many people asking cool questions. Yeah, there's a lot of cool questions tonight. Thank you, Maria. Love to you, too. My Black Wolf, my gut feeling is coming back, but my communication, not yet. It will. Make sure, I'm sure you are, but I'm so used to emailing people this all the time. When you do a session, make sure you're recording and reviewing. I mean, if I didn't record and review and just relied on real-time listening, I'd miss 80% of messages sometimes. So make sure you're reviewing the footage. Anyone using an app, record your session, record 5 or 10 minutes. play back the 5 or 10 minutes, listen very closely after you ask questions. You'll be surprised at what you hear if you're not already doing that. Geneva, I watched a video recently where a person who gets messages say they go out like a radio beam, more than one person gets it, so you can say no. I don't believe that theory at all. I've never seen proof of that or evidence of that. I'm not saying that person's wrong. I'm just saying it's my opinion that that's not how it works. If that was the case, if I had 2 DR60s running at the same time, I should get the same message. But what happens is when you're running 2 DR60s at the same time, you get 2 different messages, sometimes a continuation of the first message on the second. So if that theory was correct, I would think both recorders would receive the same message, or if I had 2 Spirit Box radios on. So yeah, I don't believe that theory. Ed Lawrence. Oh no, it's somebody asking Ed Lawrence. Asking Ed if he's on Facebook. All right. What was one of the most wild and impactful experiences when doing this work? Again, that's a hard one to answer. Wild and impactful. There's been so many just this year. Oh man. You know, if I ever have a long day with nothing to do, I'd like to look through the titles of all my videos that I've ever posted and try to go back and remember some. You know, it's just there's too many. There's so many impactful experiences from doing this work. From the first time I felt spirit reliably, from the first time they showed me things and that was validated. The first time they said my name through the box early on. When they start to leave sentence-long replies talking about God, love, and light. And like in the Patterson House video where they said, was it remember to love or continue to love? Which the whole week before that, I was just talking about love nonstop. And, you know, that's always impactful. And I can only imagine in another 5 years, 10 years even, how ITC is going to be, because it seems like every year it's progressing as far as the connection and communication, not with just me, but with a lot of people. And it's growing. The whole ITC area of just YouTube has exploded. When I started, there were like 2 or 3 channels at most, and they were very small channels. There were groups on Facebook, but they were mostly all hidden away because I found back then a lot of people were shy about it or embarrassed to say, this is my belief. And today it's becoming slowly, it's becoming more mainstream, and people are not afraid to go out there and post videos or go to public groups that we have now. So in another 10 years, I know something significant is going to happen over the next 10 years. It could be in the next 2. I don't know. I'm not saying this as a psychic because I'm not psychic. I just have a gut feeling that something significant in the next 10 years is going to, it's going to be life-changing for the entire world kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. And it's going to change the whole face of ITC. It will be accepted. It's slowly going that way, but it needs something significant. There needs to be something significant happening. And it will. I strongly believe that. What is your thoughts on finding feathers in weird places? Have you, or still do you find feathers in weird places? I found 3 feathers. I was going to do this outside earlier, and there were 3 feathers by my patio door, but that's because we have pigeons that roam around, and sometimes their feathers fall out. They come to land on our pool fountain to drink water, and sometimes they find their way to my door. But I don't really find feathers. So I've heard of people doing that, where they find a mysterious feather in their living room or kitchen or somewhere. I've heard of that. It's a thing. It's just never happened to me. So I've never found a feather. Maria, how do you do it when you feel the room is filled up with spirits and you feel that you can't help them all? It's just something you kind of have to accept, and it's just a natural thing. I know that there's nothing I can do a lot of times, but I try. So I take, I know that I tried. So that gives me peace. I did what I could on my end. And it's so crazy, this helping spirits thing. There's a few of us out there that do it publicly now, I believe. Josh and I are the 2 that's been doing it publicly for the longest, I think. I could be wrong, but it's so crazy because when I first started doing it, the whole helping spirits to the light, and I think Josh feels the same. If I remember, we talked about this. When you first attempt it, like this was years ago, you're like thinking, I remember thinking, there's no way this can work, right? What am I, nuts? Am I thinking I'm envisioning the light and it's really there and these spirits are seeing it and feeling it? And then once they start validating it, I see it, I'm in the light, after you mention it, or even the last Panabox video where I'm in my kitchen and I'm just like, I was talking about the light, and they were talking about when I was envisioning it, and I said, here it is. And they said, it's so bright, or you're so bright. They validate it all the time. And then over years, they kind of show you in many ways what it's all about. So today I'm confident that we can help lost souls into the light without question. But back then I was like, I just can't. It's blowing my mind, right? It still blows my mind, but sometimes, as you said, there's so many that come in that are lost, and all anyone can do is what they do. And then what I do is envision the white light filling in through me, popping out into the room, and I invite those spirits to walk into that light and hope that they find their way. Many have left, never to come back and speak again after these kind of sessions. So it seems that there's definitely something to it. All right. I'm reading your comments and questions still. Yes, we do open ourselves when we meditate. Oh, it just did that big jump again. Okay, where am I at here? Sorry, guys. Like the chat just flies up and I can't see it. I'd like some guided meditations on deep sleep, insomnia, connecting to spirit, cleaning chakras, and sending healing light. Geneva. Yeah, I will think about that and see what I can do. Thank you. Will you do more celebrity contacts like Dog's wife, Beth? I've had a lot of requests for Beth Chapman. Again, every time I do a celebrity video, the hate goes off the charts. I ignore it. I don't listen to it. I don't read it. I don't get involved in the drama. There's many people who think I do read hate comments. I don't read them. That's very rare that I do. But again, I'm thinking about Beth Chapman. I haven't made a decision. There's a few I get requests for. And when I get a lot of requests, like ton, like for XXX Já sei Freud. It's been a year since I did that first video, but I get requests every day. Can you do a follow-up? Can you do a follow-up? I just did the year follow-up, and the next day, can you do another one, please? So if I get a ton of emails about a specific celebrity, I will do one, because the viewers are requesting it and they're subscribed, and so I have the capability, so I give it a try. So I have been getting a lot for Beth. Long answer to a short question, sorry. Thank you, Shayla. Third eye series would be fantastic. I did the how to open your third eye video. Thank you, Maria. Celebrity or not, they are energy like us. Exactly. I don't, to me, people complain when it's a celebrity, but not so much if it's a regular person, and that makes no sense to me either. So yeah, what you said makes all kinds of sense. Can you do more coffee with spirits? Those sessions have been most remarkable. It's been a long time. I should revisit that, right? It's a good idea. I used to wake up in the morning, make my coffee, turn on a box, and I didn't think people really liked those. But yeah, I'll try one. Maybe I'll do one this week. Thanks, Stephanie. Thank you, Shayla. Thank you. SCD2F is amazing. Thank you. Have you ever felt the presence of God? In the presence of God, from Greenie Houdini. I have, and I don't talk about it much because, you know, it's kind of a personal thing, and people think, oh yeah, right, he felt God, and you know, but yeah, 100% I felt I have, on 2 occasions especially. And it's warm, it's love, it's emotional, it's powerful. And, you know, one person told me, that wasn't God you felt, that was the devil. Why would the devil make me feel love, emotion, powerful, confident? It was like filling me with this light when I needed it. And it was really an emotional thing. And for people to say that's evil, I just don't understand that, even though that wasn't your question about the evil part. But yeah, I feel we can feel the presence of God 100%. But I see God as an energy, as a love, as the universe, as love, right? The source of everything. I don't see God, or I don't picture God as a man, because I feel God is within all of us. And I've said this before too, once we recognize that fact in a deep way, I don't even know exactly how I got to that point. I know the steps, but once we recognize that, I feel it opens up our life to greater things as well. You know, there's so much I could say about life and how to live a happy life and how to avoid living an unhappy life. I'm finding it rather easy, actually. Less is more. I say that a lot now too. Less is more. But anyway, let's get back to the questions. Tasha Nicole, I don't want it. It scares me. I admire the work you do, but myself, I have only ever experienced dark without trying. So there's definitely fear. Yeah, if you fear this, never do it. I always say that too. That's my advice. And I always like to say, imagine yourself, here's the fear test. So say you got a new Spirit Box radio. So imagine yourself, even if you don't have the Spirit Box, imagine yourself, you turn it on, and the first message you get is, I'm the devil, I'm going to kill you. Would that scare you? If the answer is yes, don't ever do this, because you can and will get dark messages. I don't get them anymore. I'm telling you, the love, the mentioning God's love energy, and I feel I'm pushed to talk about this. They want me to talk about this. Love is the key, the whole love thing. That's what I feel I'm being pushed to deliver that message. And ever since I've been delivering that message, I've not gotten any real evil messages. But my first few years, when I first made the portal, whatever, I would get some nasty stuff. I'm going to kill you. I think I'll slit your throat, which is weird. Others, I will break you. I'll kill you, or you're going to die, or, I used to get those messages sporadically. And I wouldn't pay them much attention until I had that problem a couple years ago. Then I changed things, and I just don't get it anymore because I'm so focused on love. I always say we get back what we put out in life. It's the same way with communication. If you're fearful and you're like, oh, I don't know about this, you might get back something that's going to scare you. If you're out there asking for demons, you might get something coming back saying they're a demon and they want to be buddies with you. If you push out love, God, empathy, care, respect, you're going to get things back from spirits who are drawn to your energy. And when that's your energy, that's what you get back out of it. So never do this with fear in your heart, because these negative energies do sense that fear and they play off of it. It feeds them, I have found. So yeah, that's my advice for fear. So good choice, Tasha. All right, where are we at now? It's already 7:57, so we have a couple minutes left. Let's see, I have this Panabox here. Let's see what it sounds like. It's unlikely we'll hear anything in real time because, as I said before, review, but I don't know if we'll get anything. But listen how quiet it is. Ready? Hello? Is anyone here? Hello? We're live. There's people listening. Do you have any messages for anyone? Wow, it's super quiet. Hello? I've never heard it this quiet. Wow, that's weird. That's super quiet. But that's the one I was using in the new video. So when a spirit comes through this, you hear that, you hear the little bit of noise. And when a spirit comes through, it just bursts out of the silent noise. It's kind of a quiet noise. I just can't believe it's this quiet. Hello? Yeah, it's super quiet. I have my DR60. Let's see, which is the one I like better? This one. So let's try for an EVP real quick, guys. Okay, spirits, this is Steve Huff. I'm live right now. There's many watching. Are there spirits here with any of those watching right now? Kind, loving spirits. I don't think we got anything here either. You know what? I don't like this case. Oh, okay. Let's see.
This is Steve Huff. I'm live right now. There's many watching. Are there spirits here with any of those watching right
Yeah, there's like nothing there. We were getting like silence on the radio. I'm gonna try one more thing. I want to run both DR60s at the same time. Okay, spirits, I'm running 2 recorders. We're live. If there's any spirit here with a message for anyone here, you can leave it. Yeah, I don't think we're getting anything. Let's see.
Spirits, I'm running 2 recorders. We're live. If there's any spirit here with a message for anyone here, you can leave it.
There was a little voice there at the end. And this one didn't work. I could already tell. These DR60s are different. Some you have to get your volume dial set right. Josh knows about that. And others like this one, you don't have to mess with it at all. But that goes to show you, like, I'm here talking with you guys. I'm not focusing on a spirit or a session. So I'm not really connecting, right? So that's why I do what I do when I go to record sessions. Focus. And in that last video I put up with the Panda box, you heard the guy say focus when I started seeing the redheaded woman. So anyway, it's been an hour. I'm sure I missed some questions because there was a bunch of text I didn't get to or comments I didn't get to yet. All right. So thank you guys. We're going to end this now. I know you guys are all over, so the times are different for some of you. Some of you, it's the middle of the night. Some of you, it's evening. Some of you, it's morning probably. So thank you very much. I'll have the July schedule up on the Patreon page in the next day or two. There is some traveling I have in July, so I'll work around that. But in July, we're going to have 2 live Q&As for Patreon, group night for Patreon, masterclass video number 6, bonus clips and videos, and for YouTube members, of course, bonus video clips, early release videos, and 1 live Q&A a month. So I love you guys. Love is the key. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure chatting with you guys. First time I did it in this room though, so interesting. Anyway, bye guys. I'll see you next time.